Welcome to Blue and Blue, everybody. My name is Mark.
And I'm RJ, and we're here to talk about the trials and tribulations of the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, and lots to talk about this week.
Yeah.
We had our last show we posted on Friday, so we got a whole weekend to talk about. But one big trade this weekend.
Huge trade. One of the top defensemen in the league has been moved by Vancouver, Quinn Hughes, and he was going to be going on the open market a year from now. So Vancouver preempted that. They figured they knew they weren't going to sign him. A lot of talk about him joining his brothers in New Jersey. So apparently the rumors are like Carolina, Buffalo, Washington, New Jersey, obviously, we're all trying to get him. And Bill Guerin on Minnesota jumped right in there and scooped him because I'm sure Vancouver really wanted to move him to the east. Anyway, they ended up shipping him out for, excuse me on the pronunciations, of Minnesota Wild. I mean, have you ever watched them? No Canadians on the team. It seems like if a guy's got to be on the other side of the Rhine for them to sign him. Anyway, they got Liam Ogren, Zeev Boom, Marco Rossi, who's played there for a few years, and a first-round pick next year in the 26th draft. Actually, all three of those guys, I believe, are also Minnesota first round. So in a way, it was a four first-round deal, four first-round picks in a way for Quinn Hughes to Vancouver, and they can start their rebuild.
What's going on with Vancouver? Like they're getting rid of everybody.
Well, they had the Pedersen-Miller feud, and they hung on to that longer than they should have, and it's kind of really destroyed the team. I mean, 2 years ago, Vancouver was on fire, and Jimmy Rutherford was looking like he was going to try and get a magic again after going in Carolina and Pittsburgh with success. So who knows? But it's certainly going to affect the East, the West. Dallas and Colorado are obviously the top two teams, but Minnesota has now joined them in a three-team arm race, as far as I'm concerned. And with Hughes headmanning the puck up to Karpasov, again, Minnesota players, hard to pronounce. It's going to be something else. And hockey's back in Minnesota big time. They might have a good run at the Cup this year.
Yeah, anyways, Vancouver's dead last in the West right now and doesn't look like they're going to get any better anytime soon. The fans are calling for a rebuild. Apparently, the owner doesn't want it. He says apparently the fans don't want a rebuild. Well, that's everything I'm reading online says the fans are screaming for a rebuild.
I don't think it really matters. I think a rebuild. It's just if you're dead last in the league and you're trading off your best defenseman, then you're rebuilding whether you call it that or not.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that's where they're at. And then we had some sad news on the Toronto side. Paul Gagne, he only played 16 games here, but worth mentioning. He almost had 400 games in the NHL with the Colorado, New Jersey, the previous Colorado.
Yep.
And then he was with the Leafs, and then he had a cup of coffee with the Islanders. But he had quite a career with the New Jersey Devils. Anyway, he passed away at the age of 63.
Yep.
And I'm going to talk about this one because it's a Montreal player, but a really good Montreal player because I saw him play as a kid. Bobby Rousseau, great right winger, won the Calder Cup in '61 as the Rookie of the Year, and won 4 cups with Montreal, and got traded eventually to the Rangers and finished up in Minnesota. But he had quite a good career and was quite a slick right winger for Montreal. And as I said, he won 4 cups, and he passed away today or yesterday at the age of 85 after a bout of lost a fight with Alzheimer's.
Yep. Well, you're not going to lose that one. They're not going to win that one.
Good, solid hockey player. Any Montreal fans who can recall the '60s will think fondly on Bobby Rousseau.
Yeah, I don't recall the '60s. I wasn't born yet. Maybe you can, but I can't.
Well, I was talking about Red Horner playing in the '30s the other day. So
exactly.
Who knows?
Absolutely. All right, so let's recap the week. We're going to start with the Habs and the Rangers on Saturday. Listen, I thought Montreal played great, except for, again, we had a small little brain fart there within just like, what is it, about a minute or so that we got 2 goals scored on. It seems to be synonymous with Montreal right now.
Another Struble?
Like, yeah, if there's ever a mess up, it happens really quick after after back-to-back goals kind of thing. It's I don't understand what's going on with the Habs sitting on their laurels or something. If they get scored on, they get all bummed out. They get bummed out, but it's it's like, don't worry about it. We're not gonna get scored on, and then back-to-back goals. Anyways. Jake Evans was back in the lineup. It's always good to see him back. And Fowler played a back-to-back start. That was a big surprise on that game as Fowler started with the Penguins. And we already spoke about that. And then all of a sudden he started with the Rangers, which was a complete surprise to me. I thought for sure they were going to play either Montebo or Dobej on that one, since they were doing back-to-backs with Oilers the next day. My take on the game, again, I've mentioned this before with the Montreal Canadiens. There's just one too many passes. There's always too many passes. Demidov was brought onto this team to shoot, not necessarily to pass. So he's got to start shooting a little bit more often. He had an amazing chance that it's all over the news, and they were talking about it. He got a beautiful pass up in the high slot, and instead of taking a shot, he made a pass on it again. I don't understand what's going on. So Montreal got a really good lead. I think we were winning 3-0 at one point. Lost the lead. It ended up going to overtime and then lost in overtime. I'm not disappointed with the game. We played really good because it was just a very small part of the game that they actually messed up on. But
it was enough.
It was enough, yeah. One really pissed me off is Laba, Noah Laba, number 42. One of the goals, he actually charged Fowler. And this guy, actually, got up and skated away. Whereas, he should have been clobbered. He actually, you could see, it's clearly in the video. Nobody's mentioning it. But he ran right into Fowler, and it was reminiscent of what happened to Carey Price when people were charging Carey Price all the time, and there was no consequences afterwards. That really ticked me off. I don't know why he didn't get clobbered after that. But anyway, for me, it was a loss, but we still got a point out of it, so I'm happy about that. I was just flabbergasted by the Rangers' ugly sweater. I mean, they had that third jersey. That's an ugly jersey.
Those Broadway blue shirts.
That color blue was just not a nice blue, and it's I couldn't stop looking how ugly that shirt was.
Wow.
That night, the Leafs played as well.
Well, they played the Oilers, and they held their own for the first two periods. Shots were 50-50. Score was 2-2. And speaking of brain farts, Nick Robertson, last minute of the second period, throws a no-lookie out to the front of the net, and Oilers pick it up. McDavid transition. Next thing you know, it's a breakaway going the other way, 2-on-1, and he got the puck over to Darryl Nurse. He fired it in with 30 seconds left in the period, and they just deflated the Leafs. They came out in the third period flat. They outshot 2-1, and Hildeby got chased from the net. They had to put Akimov in for his first game. Akimov, whatever, AA. He might qualify to be Minnesota's goalie one year with that kind of spelling. But he just Robertson. I mean, the guy's like 24 years old now. What you see is what you get. And, a lot of us think that maybe he should be playing, they should just power him up and give him full shifts on the top six. But it's just obvious. I can see why Berube doesn't want to play him. You can't trust him. You just can't put him out there. I mean, it was a 2-2 game. And he just, that's like a really sloppy Pee-wee style hockey play. And so the Leafs lose 6-2, 6-3, sorry. They did get one more. There's some bright lights. Cowan played really well.
They were actually leading that game at one point. They were leading 2-1, weren't they? It was nip and tuck the first two periods. But Riley and Larson were on the ice for 3 goals. Nylander and Tavares were on for 3 goals. Scott Lawton had another good game. Lawrence got a goal and an assist, and it's good to see him playing well. There's some meshing going on with Lawton's playing really well. And the McCabe-Stetcher unit is really proven to be its number one unit on the Leafs now. Stetcher, eighth defenseman on the Oilers depth chart. So he got to play his whole team. So anyway, they lost. Matthews was fairly invisible. Here's the thing. I said beforehand, the media was going to go on about, the Matthews, McDavid, who's, world's best. Well, and I said, that's a joke. And it's been a joke, and it never should have been mentioned in the same sentence. And when the media, they've come to their senses now. They say, Matthews, he's struggling. He's not up with McDavid anymore. But he's still an elite center. And I'm going, I don't even know if he is. He's on pace right now for 62 points this year. And the media goes, he's dropped down to tier 2, and they start mentioning guys like your guy, Nick Suzuki. Suzuki's on pace for 90, 95 points
30 points ahead of Matthews' pace.
Yeah.
So I like there's something wrong here. I'm gonna do a. I keep threatening to do a Matthews.
Matthews did miss a few games though. How many games did he miss?
Well, he
About
missed
10?
like 6, 7 games or whatever, and he got hurt last year. He's not been the same. He got 69 goals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He got hurt last year, and it's obvious that he's just.
He's definitely not on pace for 69 goals this year. That's for sure.
No,
I don't know if he's going to get 69
he
points.
might not get 35.
Yeah.
So there's something going on with Matthews, and that's unfortunate. It seems like he's deteriorating, and I mean I know Berube's trying to make him into a Kopitar or a Bergeron, a type stronger defensive play, and that's all well and good. But you can just tell there's something going on. He's not approaching things with the same vigor that he used to, and I use that loosely anyway because always been a bit of a goal breaker in my opinion. I'm not a big Matthews guy. I know I wear the leaf here, but we're going to do a Matthews dive on this and break it down. But anyway, that was where the Leafs ended up. And
6-3. Yeah, 6-3.
So then we shipped happy Edmonton off to Montreal. Last week we shipped an unhappy Tampa Bay, and you paid for it. But
this
how'd
time,
you handle Edmonton in that Sunday
this
night
time's
game?
a little bit different for some reason. We didn't get collaborate after the Oilers were upset. They actually came in, and we ended up clobbering them, which is I'm really happy with this. What I'm really happy about is Draisaitl was looking for his 1,000 points, right? He was looking for that 1,000, and he didn't get it with Montreal. So at the end of the night, I was really happy. I was like, okay, thank you. One record's not going to be broken against Montreal, because it seems like almost every team we play where there's a rookie, he always gets his first goal with Montreal. I don't know. It always happens. So it's for some reason. I was happy he didn't get his 1,000 goals. Big surprise.
Point.
1,000 point. Yeah.
1,000 goals.
1,000 goals.
Poor Ovi.
Ovi.
That didn't last long.
Taking it away from Ovi already.
That didn't last long.
Yeah. Dobej was starting in net. Another surprise, because again, I thought maybe they're going to go with Sammy Bontempo on this one because he hadn't played since the 2nd of December. So they put Dobej in net, which is a total surprise by me. He was spectacular in net. And the first shot on net for us tonight, which I was really happy about, the first shot on net was just in a couple minutes. Like our first shot on their net was in the first couple minutes, as compared to the night before with Rangers. I think we went on 11 or 12 minutes before we got a shot on net. So I mean, it was a much different team that was on the ice against the Oilers. We were a lot more aggressive. We're a lot tighter. They did a good job neutralizing McDavid and Draisaitl because they didn't get too many opportunities to do anything. Montreal was going in there with the 6th best power play in the league, and it showed because they did get a power play goal. Suzuki's power play goal, of course, another one from Suzuki in the 3rd. So that's his 6th power play goal of the year, and he's on a 6-game point streak. So we ended up dominating that game all the way through and ended up winning 4-1. So I was really happy about that. Anytime we get to beat the number 1 player in the league, I'm always happy about it.
In the world.
In the world, yeah. And the fact that makes me even happier is that we beat the team that beat the Leafs the day before. So that's so it always makes me sleep nice.
I got to put a Montreal sweater on again. What do you want? It's tough times here in Toronto. It really is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's I think the Leafs now are about 5. What did I see last? They're at a 5.
Well, they're in above 500, but that doesn't matter.
They're everybody's at 532 right now.
Everybody's above 500.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about.
Because of the overtime loss point thing, which I think they're going to have to change the rules on this at some point. But anyway.
Yeah, so this time last week, we were talking about how close the Leafs were to a wild card spot because the Eastern Conference was really, really tight.
It's jammed up.
But now it's starting to expand. So whereas before I think you needed like 2 or 3 points to get into a wild card spot, now it's actually expanded where the number 1 team right now is Carolina. They're at 44. And to get a wild card spot, you need 38 points right now. Montreal's in there.
Yeah.
And Toronto's now is at 33 points. So last week I think it was a 2 to 3 point gap you needed to get in a wild card spot. This week it's a 5
Leafs
point
have
gap.
Boston's there at 38. Leafs have an 8th spot. And Leafs have two games in hand. So in effect, like they're only like 3 points back if you use that kind of math.
But, well, that's assuming you think.
But I'm going to say this right now: the Leafs went on a run 5-6 games where they got points. and they went from 15th to 14th. I mean,
Yeah,
so
they
this
got
is the
points,
problem.
but I
So
think
many,
4 of them were losses or ties, right? They got their
they're
1
they're in
point.
pretty
So
big
yeah,
danger right now. They got games coming up with Washington, and Dallas in the next 4 games, and they're 5 points back. You get to if you at this time of the year, if you get to about 8 9 points back, you just can't recover. They're just not going to be able to do it. So
yeah.
actually, going these next, I hate to say, well, these are the most important games of the year when it's an 82-game schedule, but I think the Leafs right now, the whole season's on the line with these next 4 or 5 games.
Well, there's still about 50 games left in the season right now, so I think they got plenty of time to make it
I
back
don't
if they
think
want.
I mean, it's easy for you to say. You're sitting in seventh spot.
Oh, well, we could easily go down.
We're
Could easily.
freaking out right now here in Toronto. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, and you should be, but I mean, it's just a matter of getting back on a streak. Like I said earlier in the season, the Leafs are usually good in the first half of the season, where they're like they start off the season they're in first place in the East, and then they after Christmas, usually after the All Star
last year
break
they
or
did.
something.
Last year they cruised the whole way.
Yeah, and then but that's an exception. But normally, if you look at years past, they were starting good, and then they kind of deteriorated as the season went on. Montreal was usually the opposite, whereas Montreal started really bad, and then after Christmas started getting wins, which is what they did last year, and that's how they got into the playoffs. This year, it's like the roles are reversed. Montreal started hot, and then Toronto's starting not, and then hopefully this is not going to reverse the roles after Christmas.
Toronto's
Anyway,
going to have some problems. Well, we preview this week. Leafs are going to be playing Chicago tonight, and what I'm talking about this is a game they have to win. I know it's crazy to say at this time of year there's a have to, but Berard's out. He got hit in the shoulder with like 0.20 seconds left on a faceoff against St. Louis. I'd like to see the next time the Hawks and the Blues meet. There's going to be some revenge going on there. What Shen just give the big cross check. So Berard's apparently out till
Bedard, not Berard, Bedard.
Bedard. I said Berard. I'm thinking about an ex-Leaf, Brian Berard. Geez, that was a hell of a defenseman. Anyway, Connor Bedard is out until January.
You think that's going to affect him?
Of course, it's going to affect the Hawks. He's like 30-40% of their offense, or if not, he's got Bertuzzi on fire with a bunch of goals. So the Leafs have a week in Chicago tonight. If they can't beat the Hawks at home tonight, they are going to be in some trouble because they got they're playing some premium teams coming up. As I said, Washington and Dallas are coming up. So
yeah,
this is a key game for the Leafs tonight. They have to win tonight. I think they'll go with Hildeby. Wall's skating. And so they're getting ready to get him back in action. And
I don't remember
Tanoff skated the other day, so that's good news.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But I think they're going to keep him out probably till I would see him maybe not coming back till after Christmas. Carlos has been announced to go for surgery, and I personally, I mean, the way he's played so far, he's maybe doing us a favor by deciding to go for surgery. I don't know. He did not play well for the Leafs. So we've got a big game tonight against Chicago. The Leafs have to make a statement tonight, I think, or things are going to start really looking bleak here as far as the playoff spot go. And then after that, what have you guys got going on? You got Habs and Flyers tonight.
We got Flyers tonight. This will be a really good game. And you know what? Surprise, surprise. They announced Fowler's getting a start. I'm great for him. I'm really happy the young kid's going to get the start again. This will be his first start at home at the Bell Center, so he's going to be a great experience with that. Flyers right now, they're playing pretty good, but I don't think they're playing as good as Montreal Canadiens right now. So I think I'm going to go for Montreal in the win on that one. Surprise, surprise. And then we're on Thursday. We've got Chicago. So hopefully you guys beat up enough on Chicago tonight that they'll be weakened again for us on Thursday evening. Again, without Bedard, because they've announced Bedard's out till at least January.
He's out till January. We got Washington on Thursday. So as I said, if they don't win tonight and then they have to go to Washington on Thursday and they lose 2 games this week, they could be looking at 7-8 points back. It's getting to the point where the Leafs, the math won't math. They just won't be able to win enough games.
Yeah.
Because not only they have to keep winning, but then there's so many clubs to leapfrog through. And, like some other 2-3 other clubs, Ottawa might get hot, and Boston and Montreal down in 7th and 8th will maintain their paces. New Jersey's trying to get back in there. I mean, the whole thing, it's just Florida was in last place. They're now in 13th or 12th. So
I think the Panthers just beat Tampa right now, didn't they?
They beat Tampa 5-2 last night. Reinhardt's got going again. Reinhardt got 2 goals, and Carter Verhaeghe, an ex-Leaf, is playing really well.
Well, definitely a lot of action in the East anyway. Anyways, tune in on Friday where we're going to do another recap of what's going on this week. And we're going to talk about the upcoming games, which is the Preds on Saturday against the Leafs and the Penguins on Saturday against the Habs. We'll see you on Friday.